This is your favorite song?
This is it. Totally uncopyrighted and totally awesome for me, too. Yeah. Nailed it. Good afternoon, everyone. And he did it. He did it. Oh, we're going to have a killer show tonight. Welcome to the mid-February edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. The weather, boy, I got to tell you, it's raining out there, but in the middle of February, and no problemo. And it's no problemo because in wintertime we can lose the show if it's too snowy, but there is no snow. But we have a gentleman in here. I think you guys may have seen him recently in the Shields MRI commercial with Mr. Tom Brady, 5-time winning quarterback for the New England Patriots, and I hope they do the sequel. But before we talk about that, this is Dave Russo, and
hello, everybody.
Stand-up comedian, award-winning stand-up comedian from the Boston area, our area. We're going to profile him tonight. But I have a surprise for Dave tonight because today is his 20th anniversary in the comedic field.
Right.
In honor of that, I'm going to commemorate him. David,
yes.
In honor for this, I have for you a little testimonial that I made, and I want you to read it. I want you to open it. I want you to show it to them.
All right. An exclusive right here.
All
right. This is going to be nice. What do we have? Commemorating you, David Russo, on this, the 20th anniversary of your comedic debut. I hereby award you this authentic certificate from Topic Time Nation, Harrison Blake Young, right there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, man. That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's actually 20 years. Actually, what is today's day?
Today's February 15th, 2017, and I happen to remember what I was doing 20 years ago tonight myself. I was going to Lindo's, my favorite pizzeria here in Easton. Got 3 cheese large pizzas with extra cheese and a little pepper. You know, to get my bottles flowing, you know what I mean? It's good stuff, and it tastes good, too.
Get your cholesterol kicking in?
Exactly, yeah. But, so, David, thank you for coming in, and I hope that in 20 years from now we can give you a 40th. But
you know what? I'm gonna. I have the first check. I have it. I'm gonna post it probably. I think it's the 19th. Was actually 19th. I think is actually 20 years. So I think a couple of days from now is actually exactly 20 years.
Okay.
But it was the weekend. Anyways, it was 20 years ago this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So I have that framed. I'm gonna frame this little bad boy, and hhopefully 40 years from now or 20 years from now, they'll both be worth the
price
paper it's written on.
Of the Wallachie, talkie, whatever, and the stand-up ritual that you perform so well.
Sure.
Okay, I just made that up as I went along.
I do have rituals. I think every comedian has rituals before they go on stage.
Yep. We're going to find all about yours too. Now we've dispensed with those formalities. David, I want to find out about your history. You are a stand-up comedian, and where are you from originally?
Okay, I was born.
From Boston.
I was born in Everett, which is about 4 or 5 miles north of Boston.
Okay.
But I grew up in Malden, which is once again about 5 miles north of Boston.
Yep.
And Bostonian through and through. Started doing comedy. I believe it was 96/97.
Okay.
And then in '97, this week, 20 years ago, was my first paid gig for the Comedy Pals.
Where did you go?
I went to Worcester.
I know. Okay, was it at the what do you call it?
It was the Aku Aku. It was a place called the Aku Aku.
Yep.
Exit 17 off of 290, and it was the greatest gig ever. I think I worked with Tony V.
Cool.
Who's locally famous. He's been in numerous movies with Sandra Bullock. He's been in Conan, and he was in the movie The Town. And a guy by the name of Orny Adams, who was in the movie Comic with Jerry Seinfeld. He was the comedian featured.
One of my faves.
Yeah, so those are the 2 guys that I worked with, and that was 20 years ago this week. I'm still buddies with Tony V. He and I are on a Giggles comedy softball team. We're 3-time softball champions the past 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah, so
what town is that out of?
Well, Giggles Comedy Club's in Route 1 Saugus. It's in North Shore.
Okay, Saugus, North Shore. Yeah. So it's just called the North Shore Giggles, right?
It's just Giggles Comedy Club. It's been around for over 25 years.
Cool.
It's Lenny Clark's
Lenny Clark, and I hope to get Lenny on as a guest. He said he'd appear.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll say what a great time you had, and that'll sway him in the right direction.
All right. Well, we've been on for 5 minutes. I'm having fun so far.
That's great. Now, okay. By the way, so have you ever worked with Sarah Silverman?
You know what? Briefly in New York City, pre 9/11. I was in New York when 9/11 went down. I just moved there,
Wow.
So briefly worked with her, and also she's in a movie 13th, or produced by Howard Barish, who was the producer of a reality show I was on 11 years ago. So it's very close to working with her in the movie. She's great. She's in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
That's from New Hampshire.
I'm pretty sure she has some ties to some of the local Boston comics, but I know her real briefly. But I know when I worked with her in New York, I remember she was doing her Conan O'Brien appearance, and she was working on the set at Stand Up New York.
Okay.
And she got a lot of controversy.
I know
something about babies. One of the jokes she had about babies and how cute. I mean, it's Sarah Silverman. You know what I mean?
Sarah Silverman. Her father's a piece of work too.
I'm sure the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
Yeah, I see him every few years when he comes to my mother's birthday parties.
Oh, nice.
She turned 80 last September, so.
Your mom's 80?
My mom's 80, but you wouldn't believe how young
that lottery
both my parents, very young and vibrant at their age. So what reality show were you part of? You just mentioned.
Yeah, you know, in 2004, I was in Las Vegas, and the Red Sox won the World Series.
Yay, Sox, baby!
Yeah.
They're gonna win it again this year too.
God willing. God willing.
God willing. Yeah.
Well, you know, I was out there. I was performing at the Comedy Stop, the Tropicana.
Okay.
And I auditioned for this TV show that was hosted by Wayne Newton called The Entertainers.
Of course. Who else was Wayne Newton?
Yeah, Mr. Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the show's now called America's Got Talent. I got cast in the first season.
Wow.
The pilot season, which was called The Entertainer.
Okay.
And it lasted only one season. Unfortunately, it was on the E! Network. It was on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. But I remember,
Does the E! Network even exist anymore?
The E! Network? It's the Kardashian Network.
I know it is. That's probably the only show that's on it now that we get to.
I think my series was on right when Chelsea Lately was starting.
Okay.
That's how far ago, and but it only lasted one season, which was a shame. I had a contract out in Vegas, and instead of pursuing going to L.A. and working for E! or anything like that, I came back east and started working for Dirty War TV and things like that. But yeah, in 2005, January 13, 2005, a reality show called The Entertainer aired. I lasted 10 weeks on the show, and I was runner-up for $1 million.
That was a Thursday, by the way.
I was runner-up for $1 million.
Yep.
Which is pretty much why I'm here in Raynham instead of hanging out in Vegas again.
Well, I always say everything happens for a reason, and what you've accomplished so far, you know. Everything happens in its time, like a wine doesn't age until it's.
Well, the Entertainer thing was TV 101.
Yep.
It was it was basically I learned a little bit about TV. I learned a little about reality shows.
Yep.
I learned about how the production works in L.A. and who owns L.A. and who to work for, who not to work for. And it's just like anywhere else, you know. In Boston, they have the who's the producers, who's the bookers, and it's the same thing out there. It's just.
And you're going to write a book about it eventually, and that'll be a big following.
You know what? It's funny. I have an audio book coming out.
Cool.
Stories from Russo on the Road.
I know. Did you write it yourself with a?
Basically, what I've been doing
or did someone else do it?
No. Basically, what I do is it's fun. It's fun and less lazy, or more lazy, but it's fun.
Right.
I'll hang out with a buddy of mine.
Right.
And so, and he's young. He's a young. It's my buddy's kid.
Okay.
Just graduated college, and he's kind of training.
Right.
And so we just talk about stories and we bounce off things. So I start telling him stories about some things that have happened. You know, whether I was 14 years old, I was on a commercial that aired during the Johnny Carson show.
Wow.
Whether it was, certain fun things that have happened to me in my life, I tell him the stories, and he's like, dude, you can't put those stories in writing. You have to have them on audio because of the inflection of the voice.
Exactly.
And telling the story and being real. So I've been working on stories from Russo on the Road, and it's something like, why I'm a champion and why you hate me.
I like it.
I don't know, because the Patriots are champions and everyone hates them.
Everyone hates them. I know.
We all want to be champions.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Now, how did you get that Shields? That Shields MRI commercial is going to launch a huge career for you. The fact that the Patriots won the Super Bowl leads me to say, if they don't do a sequel, then they're screwing themselves.
Well, it's funny.
To that commercial.
Well, the Bobby Farrelly of the Farrelly Brothers and Chris Meyer and Conductor Productions, Jen Sargent, my friend Noah, they're the production company that cast me a couple years back.
You tight with the Farrellys, are you?
Well, I don't know if I'm necessarily tight with the Farrellys. I'm getting more tight with them. I mean, because I've played some charity hockey events with them, and a few years back, he didn't realize I was a hockey fan. We were in a hockey tournament together. We started convincing about hockey, Bobby and I, and the next thing you know, I was in his commercial for NBC, A Very Farrelly Thanksgiving.
Oh,
which was on NBC,
I remember that.
And that was huge right there, and that was a lot of fun.
Who else was in that?
We had Lenny Clark was in there.
Was in it,
Don Gavin, Patty Ross, one of the Wahlberg. I forget the name of one of the
Mark,
Wahlberg.
Maybe?
No, it was one of the. I forget
Arthur,
one of the.
Maybe. Donnie.
1,000 of them. I don't know. It wasn't
I
one of the
watched
it wasn't
too.
one of the more famous ones. It was a younger kid.
I interviewed one of the
Oscar. It was Oscar. My friend Oscar.
He's the only one I've never heard of.
Yeah, he's a young kid. He goes to BU. He was actually the young kid in the Shields MRI commercial.
Cool. Oh, he was the.
I couldn't remember his name for a second.
The kid looked about 18.
Yeah, he's a freshman in college.
When Tom Brady got his name called, he looked up like that, and they played the dramatic music.
Right.
And you were the other guy in the ring.
I was the guy on the iPad.
Right.
And people keep saying, you look confused, you look confused. I'm like, you would be confused too if you're watching porn on an iPad and you look up and you see Tom Brady. And then you look down and go, hey.
Well, Tom Brady looks cool, but the woman that asked him to come in, she didn't look bad either.
Well, you know what? She's an actress out of L.A. I think she has Massachusetts ties.
Okay.
And so she's, once again, to resort back to the Farrelly brothers, they kind of keep, Chris and Bobby have been really, really good to the Boston comics and really just the actors in Boston
in
general.
They're Boston-based too, just like you are.
Yeah, so it's kind of been serendipitous. Is that the word? I don't know. They had me in the first one, and they said, hey, everything went well, everything great, let's put them in the second one.
So they are going to do a second one.
No. The first one was the NHL one. They put me in that.
Yeah.
And then they were doing the Tom Brady one, and they're like, hey, let's get Russo again. So I ended up doing the Tom Brady one.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? You know how the girl says, well, we're going to have to build you a bigger locker. Well, that was before the Super Bowl. That was pre-Super Bowl 5. That was pre-Super Bowl win 5. So now, what I would suggest is having you build a locker and then say, Tom, does this look okay? And he says, championship mode, my friend. David, good job.
I don't know if I'm that good of friends with Tom Brady. I'll be honest with you. We didn't even know he was in the commercial. I got cast. Chris said, "Hey, you got to be here."
Great picture of you with him, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is what happened. We were there at 6:30, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And then we're there for a couple hours. Next thing you know, 8 o'clock in the morning, so Tom Brady walks in, and we're all like, "Hey, I think that's Tom Brady."
Oh my goodness!
So now we know what the commercial's about.
They probably didn't. Yeah, you know why I didn't tell anybody? There'd be 4 million people there swarming the studio if they knew he was going to be there.
I mean, he is.
He's a champion.
He is. Well, not only is he a champion, he's. It's one of those things, man. He's like a living legend. You know what I mean? He's a
21st century living legend.
He's a step above the average stupid guy. I guess. You know what I mean?
And every one of those guys. I know you're a big sports fan, and you got to look at every single Super Bowl seems to top itself in unusual wins and stuff. Because of the way it's done. No other team has won by such a short number of points. For that many, in fact, for any Super Bowl, except for the only game that was ever closer than any of the Patriots Super Bowls was Super Bowl 25, Giants versus Buffalo, the Scott Norwood game.
Oh, sure, the one we missed.
Lost by 1 point. No other Super Bowls even come close to being that close.
Really?
Oh yeah.
There's been a couple ones. I think the one of the Titans when the guy was like 4 inches away.
That was a touchdown difference. That was probably equal to the difference in this past Super Bowl, the 6-point difference. It wasn't overtime. No overtime until this year.
Sure. And
you could see we were bound for glory. And
and
also
I still can't believe it.
You notice too is that winning is contagious. Like now that the Patriots are Super Bowl champs, the Bruins and the Celtics are kicking butt too.
Well, the Bruins just changed
after they got
Claude.
Claude Lanoux, he's going to be coaching Montreal now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Look at Claude brought a championship back for the first time since 1972, I believe. And that was in 2011/2012.
Right.
And that was the year I got to do comics from home with Dennis Leary because Dennis knows I'm a hockey fan.
Right.
And a Bruins guy.
You're tight with Dennis, are you?
Well, once again, I don't know how tight we're with any of these guys. You know what I mean?
Do what you got to do, and these people just happen to be there.
Dennis likes me. He was awesome to me when I did comics from home. I've done a couple of his charity. Some of his charity hockey games, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he gave me an award this year. He gave me the Golden Shower Award.
Is that as good as the Golden Shower Award?
Yeah. Thank you. You paid attention. The Golden Shower Award. Dennis Leary, I have a plaque. You got to go on my fan page.
Okay.
What ended up happening was, check it out. So my friend Mark Riley, fellow comedian, we're doing a street hockey tournament at an undisclosed location in Connecticut, Dennis Leary's house.
Okay.
So we go there. We're doing well. Somehow it's raining out. Somehow I slip and I twist something. I've never been injured in hockey in all the years I've been playing.
What position are you?
I think I was playing defense or forward. I was running around like a maniac. It was street hockey, 4-on-4. So basically, what ends up happening is that I can't move, and I'm on and I said to him, I said, Dennis, I've never been injured in any sport where I haven't gotten up and walked it off. I go, I can't move right now. So like 20 minutes, I got like a back spasm, slipped a disc or something like that.
Yeah.
Long story short, I go, you got a shower? So I went to his house, got all the clothes, took a shower,
Yep.
and then something loosened up. It was like something loosened up or whatever. So then 20 minutes later, I was back playing, and I ended up getting the game-winning goal.
Whew.
And so he was calling me Lazarus because I came back from the dead.
Yeah, right.
And the golden
I could've
shower.
said
And there's
you
some
made
other
it-
stuff involved with the golden shower,
Right.
but it's local access, so I can't go.
Could have
too
called
crazy.
you the Phoenix, rising from the ashes too.
All I know is that the following Comics Come Home, Lenny called me up, and I was doing a fundraiser down
Lenny
the Cape.
Clark.
Yeah, I was doing a
Right.
fundraiser down the Cape for the firemen, and my buddies Chris Reed and those guys, and then it's like, you got to get up here to the garden, and he gave me an award. So it
Wow.
was kind of cool, yeah.
What was it as good as the one I gave you? No, I was gonna.
I gotta
I'm sorry,
listen.
we're cheap.
He actually had a trophy made up.
Wow.
Where it's a little base, and then there's a shower head in
Yeah.
gold. And it's to Dave Russo, the golden
I'm a cheap
shower.
dude. That's why. Otherwise, I would have made you.
That was this was very thoughtful.
Oh yeah, I was
This
thoughtful.
was very thoughtful. We have to get you better chairs, man. My
You just told me
big
you were comfortable.
my big butt in these leather chairs. Hello. No, this was very thoughtful right here, and I'm gonna
Yeah, listen,
I'm gonna
you
post it on Facebook tonight. But I don't want people to know I've been in comedy 20 years.
Well, that's awesome.
Then they know I started at 16. You know.
I was going to say, you were
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I mean, you don't look like you're in your 40s even.
I know.
You know
Thank you.
that.
I have what's called
But you're
I have this
confident.
I have this affliction. It's Ralph Macchio disease. Some of the
Okay.
young kids might want to Google it.
Okay.
It's when you're old but you look young. So I've
Well,
always looked
that's
young.
a good disease.
Yeah, dude. When I was a freshman in high school, 15 years old, I'm gonna post some of this stuff on Throwback Thursday. Because we cleared out my parents' house. I found some pictures of me. When I was a freshman in high school, I was 4'11", 79 pounds.
Wow.
4'11", 79 pounds. And 20 years ago, bullying was legal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So when you're a little kid, I got rolled up in rugs.
Oh yeah.
Stuffed in lockers, beat up by the bullies. You know, they were on the field hockey team.
Oh man.
But
yeah.
anyways, so those are
Well,
people.
but it sounds like you still played sports and you persevered in spite of that.
You
as
know
a
what?
kid.
I played all the sports: hockey, baseball, football.
yeah.
I rolled around with men on mats.
I mean, you're an athletic-looking guy, even though you're not that big. But that's no big deal. You know something. You came back stronger because of it. You're a perfect example.
It's a
of that.
motivational
Exactly.
interviewer. No, I never knew I was small till I overheard my mom saying, "Yeah, he's the smallest kid, but he's the fastest." Who
There you
knows?
go.
You know what I mean? There's a reason why everyone is a little
Everything
engine
happens
that
for a
could,
reason,
and Napoleon who ran a country was my height. So who knows? You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, so as a kid growing up, and I like to profile all my guests. How did you know you were going to be in this? Did you have any
Yeah.
idea? All right. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
cakewalk.
your childhood.
Cakewalk.
Like
I've
I'm a shrink, and you're telling me.
Right for this. I've always
Okay.
known I was going to be an entertainer. People always say to you, when did you know? When did this? What did you leave? I've always been an entertainer. I could always sing a little bit. I could always dance a little bit, and I was
Really?
never shy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with an older sister. Her and her girlfriends. Whatever was in style was following them. I wasn't following older brother. I was
Right.
following my sister. So I was going to gymnastics practice.
Okay.
I was seeing how she's dancing. I remember her saying, "Only the cool dudes drive like this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like foolish little things like
She
that.
into
that you-
comedy too?
No, just my sister. It's my sister's the first person I ever met. It's my older sister, the first person I knew, my first friend.
Right.
So I was
Okay.
5 years younger than her,
5
so I
years.
was always following her around.
Okay.
So
How did she like that? Did that aggravate her? Because I mean, I would think that
you know what? All I know
older
is
sisters don't like their little brothers following them around, especially when they're on dates or when they were doing babysitting gigs or when they're on the mall.
I wasn't
with
that
their
creepy.
friends.
I didn't go on dates
Oh,
with
yeah,
my
okay,
sister. or
that's
anything
not
like
what I
that.
mean, you know.
I just know what I'm trying to point out is that, growing up, I had my dad worked 7 days a week.
Okay.
So in my house was my mother and my sister. So when a dude's hanging out with the girls, I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm doing that. But I've always known I wanted to be an entertainer. I don't know if it's because I'm hyper or because I saw the. When I was a kid, I did some plays when I was young.
Okay.
And it was easy to
Let's
kind
talk
of memorize.
about those plays. That's what we like to break down.
That's kindergarten, first
okay.
grade, second grade. A lot of the kids back in the day were nervous about speaking in public.
Right.
And I never understood why there was a problem, why people have a problem speaking in public. You're talking. Once you learn how to talk, you just speak.
Speaking, regardless of how many people
comedy's the
listening.
same thing. Comedy's the
Yeah.
same thing. A lot of younger comics, when they're doing comedy, they go out there and you're like, oh, it's prepared.
Right.
The whole goal of comedy is to do that same joke or whatever 10 times, 1,000 times, 100 times, but say it like it's the first time every time you do it.
And make people laugh each time.
Well, I mean, every audience member is different, but when you're starting to do comedy long enough, you have an idea when you're losing the audience. Well, I got to get them back. I got to use the brain. What jokes are going to bring them back?
Okay.
Sometimes you might do a dirty joke, and now the crowd thinks you're dirty. Now you got to come back with a couple clean jokes to remind them, hey, I can do this too. Everyone's different,
Right.
I've been working a lot. I've been working the past 20 years, and put it this way, I'll say and do whatever I want on stage now, not just because freedom of speech. It's what I do, and I'm a professional. It's just because, like most, none of you are going to affect my career on anything I say. I'm not that big
Right.
that anything I say is gonna get me blackballed or kicked out of the business. I mean,
well, that's the idea. When you're a comedian, you can say. I mean, people know you're a comedian. They know if you say bomb the White House, you know, just kidding, like Madonna.
well,
I know
she's
you
not a
wouldn't say-
comedian. She's
right.
just,
I know, but that she did say it, and because she's a celebrity, they're probably not going to, cite her for it.
well, you know what? That's irresponsible. And
I know it is. I don't.
And look,
you're
we're all,
right, you're
everyone's
right,
a
it
fan
is.
of Madonna at one point in their life. We were a fan of Madonna. At one point, like whether you like it now or don't like it, I don't know. I don't want anyone to be in a hypocrite out there. At one point, we liked Madonna, whether it was listen to Lucky Star or whatever the other thing,
Well,
like a
because she was hot, and I
Virgin.
appreciate the fact that she's older than me and she still looks pretty darn good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that I think it's irresponsible when because. Look,
No, I agree.
everyone's nuts. They're all insane. No, I don't know anyone in my life that's actually somewhat normal. But there's other people that are beyond normal, that
yeah.
are just crazy. And when you start inciting a riot, you start, Madonna starts saying, who knows, one of her crazy friggin' loonies wants
Right.
to follow up on. I just think it's irresponsible. Just because, and why are we even taking any information from celebrities? Most celebrities I know didn't even graduate college.
The
for
reason,
crying
well,
out loud.
because it's not because celebrities, the quotes, the people that are famous are the quotes that we remember because they're the ones that millions
Yeah.
of people will see.
It's just sometimes it's just so.
And then in this political atmosphere we're living in today,
Yeah.
it's been so. I mean, it's been unbelievably. This whole election season, going back to Trump versus Hillary and all those
Sure.
other people, we got nut jobs all over the place
Yeah.
in politics. So what are we going to do? We got to, what else? The whole country's divided. We just got to
Yeah.
make light of it, and that's what we do. I wouldn't say anything like that, but there's plenty of material. There's more material going around for comics like yourself now than ever before because
I just
of
think
this.
everybody's a hypocrite.
Oh, I know.
Because it's funny. Look at, I forget what podcast I was watching. I was listening to a podcast.
Right.
But it made so much sense. It's like, everyone on the left hates Fox and everyone on the right hates
It's
CNN,
CNN,
right?
I know.
So watch both of them. We have the technology. I have both of them on. I go, this guy said this one, this person said this one. Okay, someone's lying. You know what I mean? It's like,
If I get bored, I just turn it to HLN and watch Forensic Files.
yeah, I've watched every single one of those. The Forensic Files. We could. I think I could probably get away with a murder after watching so many of those.
I know.
Classic mistake these people make.
That's true. I know. And I wonder what the point is. The ratings are skyrocketing. People like horrible stuff on TV if it's real, especially.
They're gonna tune into this then, huh? Come on, that was a good one.
Horrible, baby. Yeah.
That was awesome. We're making fun of ourselves. That's what Conan
That's
does.
what we do. Yeah.
Conan goons on himself.
Conan goes on himself. Conan says, "Well, look at me. My legs are too tall for my body. That's why. But my top of my body is like 3 feet. My legs are 9 feet.
Yeah, that's you know who else
Totally
like that?
disproportionate.
That's it's funny.
I saw that on Dr. Katz.
Wayne Newton actually said that because his legs are so tall. We sat next to each other with the same height.
Well, how tall is he now? I mean, Wayne Newton.
Probably the same height as he was when I met him.
You remember when he spazzed out at Johnny Carson? Were you old enough to remember that?
I know of it, and I know exactly
Yeah.
what it's about because Johnny Carson was
used to
doing
make fun of his
homophobic.
voice as a kid.
He was doing homophobic jokes,
Right.
calling him homosexual
Yes,
and things
that's
like
right.
that. And that was a different time back in the day where like right now, if somebody were to allege that of me, I would just embrace it and go, yep, and I care, and then it goes away. You know who did it the best was the guy who hosts American Idol. What's his name?
Simon.
No, not
Cowell.
Simon. No, the kid, the good-looking kid there. The hell's his
I don't
name?
know. I'm
He does the-
homophobic too. I don't like guys. I don't say boys are good looking. I'm only kidding. I don't know who you mean, but go ahead. You
No.
think through it and you'll come up with it.
We're gonna have to edit that one out. He
No,
just said
no,
he's
no, no,
homophobic.
no.
Edit that.
Just
no,
kidding.
no. The thing is, what I'm trying to point out is all right. We have to rewind it.
Right. I'm trying to think. Now I'm wondering who. I only watched
He's-
Idol. It was
he's,
after Simon Cowell, right?
No, he's the host. He has the radio DJ. Come on, in the back. You must know his name. He produces the Kardashians. Anyway, he took over for Dick Clark.
Okay. When Dick had the stroke.
No, but he does why? How do we not know this, people?
I don't know.
Anyways, they would
Not
allege
live.
that he was gay and stuff like that. And he was like, whatever.
Okay.
And that's the whole. I mean, sticks and stones can break your bones,
know.
but names will never hurt you.
That's true. It's true because nowadays people are coming out of the closet. I mean, I think we're living in a better time in some ways because we couldn't. I mean, years ago the stigmas were attached to people that got bullied, and I got bullied a lot. And I'm not. I'm straight, and I'm just different. I'm odd. I'm unusual. And
Once again, my
I'm
point:
creative,
no
and
one's
that's what
normal.
comes from that. Right.
No one's. I don't know anyone that's normal. There's defubilities in everybody. I got a bunch of them. I just try not to affect others with my little crazinesses.
Well, affect them, but affect them in a fun way. You know, not in a mean way.
Yeah.
That's good. You're a
doing
golden
stand-up
rule follower,
comedy.
and that's
Doing
good.
stand-up comedy and being in Tom Brady commercials and having fun.
Exactly.
And raising money for charity events, do a lot of charity
Playing
events.
hockey and falling on your butt and getting to take a shower in Dennis Leary's house.
Well, it sounds a little weird when he says it that way, but yeah, it was it was the back of the barn, you know.
So okay, well, now so let me ask you something. As a stand-up comedian, do you write your own? Do you sit down and write material?
I mean, you have
or
to.
You just come out. You just come up with it.
It's funny. It's funny. You know what? You just with 20 years of experience.
Right.
You know, any comedian will tell you we write every day.
Right.
Every day. You know, now we have the iPads. Like I have my notes and
Yeah,
I
like
write down stuff. Every day. I mean, my iPhone rather, not my iPad.
Okay.
Every day, writing down new stuff. And is it relevant? And can you pull it back? Can you not pull it back? Yeah, I mean, you have to be. I don't like to do a lot of political jokes.
Okay.
But I've had to do a little bit of political jokes because it's just so topical and people want to know about it. You want to goof on. But you got to take your own spin, fun spin. Like I didn't go, I don't, hey, so pro-left or so pro-right. I try to stay in the middle and kind of tease both parties because, once again, the people who are into politics, they a lot of them do take it very, very seriously.
Exactly. I don't.
And, well, I mean, look, I've paid attention to it a little bit more because I am concerned about certain things. I mean,
me too. They got a spy ship, a Russian spy ship off the coast of Connecticut as we speak. I don't know if you heard that on the news today.
What station was that on? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, first they were off the coast of Delaware, then they must have rolled up the waterfront.
I actually don't believe that. I don't believe there's a Russian.
I saw the picture of it.
There's a Russian ship?
Yeah.
In Connecticut.
Well, it was, yeah. I showed a picture of what they said was a Russian.
Wouldn't we have seen that coming by the Bering Strait or whoever?
I don't know. I don't know. I was watching. I actually just watched Fox. You know why? Because I am concerned. I've always been kind of weirded out by the possibility of an apocalyptic event. And with Trump in office, if Fox keeps hyping them, then we're probably going to be okay. We know CNN's always going to say that we're heading for doom and gloom. That's the way they are. And that's, call that fake news if you want. I don't know, but I've just been watching Fox and not CNN, and I listen. I don't know. I'm not even a right wing person. It's just I just like to listen to and plus they have better looking girls on Fox too.
Seems you like a lot of you like chicks, don't you?
Oh, I like them. Yeah,
right.
I admit it.
There we go. All right.
So
we have something in common.
So tell me something. What films have you performed in? You performed in films, right?
Have I performed in movies?
Yes.
I think I've just been in like independent stuff
years
ago.
Let's talk about those. What have you been in?
I couldn't even remember the name. I did one when the old Comedy Connection Faneuil Hall was around.
Okay.
I taped one in New Hampshire. This is pre 9/11. I did a few stuff, and you know what? Since then, I haven't done any of the independent films. I did a couple ESPN spots with like the Super Bowl spots 2 years ago. I was on the Super Bowl commercial, Why We Win. The Brady commercial, the Bruins commercials. Yeah, I haven't really done many of the movies. That's the next step.
That's the next step for you is films. Well, now that you've been typecast by the Farrelly brothers, I don't see how you can miss for films.
Well, it's the business. You never know.
Right. It's the business. Well, look,
the thing is, though, I've been offered parts in movies. It's just, you know what? It's sometimes, but sometimes you're just the lamp. Like I was going to be an extra in one of the Chris Rock movies, and the guys that they filmed around Gloucester, and it's just a lot of times you're going to wait around for 8 hours and just the lamp is doing the same thing you are. You're just background. Just like I was in the Brady thing. The Brady thing was just the background because I wasn't talking.
Right.
But it ended up just being viral, so it kind of ended up working out halfway decent.
That's exactly right, and it was recent.
You know what I mean?
When did they shoot that? Like October?
September 19th or the 21st, I think.
Okay, so not that long ago. So right during just as the season
I've known
started.
for 5 months we were going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
we already had that commercial in.
Yeah, exactly. I know you brought them luck, but they didn't really need it. But why not, right?
Of course they needed luck. We all need a little bit of luck. Look, you don't win championships without a little bit of luck.
Oh, I agree.
Look, if Edelman doesn't make that catch, all right,
off the feet of the Atlanta
that little luck, you know
Right.
what I mean? And it was going. It's just it's a game of inches.
Yeah.
It's the way the stars are lined up. Brady's mom's sick. Once I found out the mom was sick, I bet all the money on the Patriots because I knew a good, wholesome golden boy. Golden boy would never lose when it came to raising money or to winning for his mom and for that little 10-year-old kid who unfortunately passed away. I don't know if you read about that.
Yeah.
Young cancer patient. So cancer sucks.
It does. It totally does. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I feel pretty good, and it's good that we got our health.
Yeah.
And
I feel great.
You feel great. There you go. Yeah. Well, so what do you? So where have you performed? I mean, so talk about. I want to hear about all the gigs you've had. And who
All right,
you've had them
fun
with.
gigs, cool gigs.
All right,
All right, cool gigs. Let's start with some fun ones. Let's start with some fun ones. So,
Okay.
I get to open up. All right, so back in the day,
Yep.
before like when I started doing comedy in '97, by 2000, 2.5 years into comedy, I won the Boston Comedy Festival.
That's right,
New
you won
Comic
some awards.
So that was
High five, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
That's
So that was like in 2000. So
Right.
at that point in 2000, I ended up at the Cape Cod Melody Tent and some
Okay.
of these places, Hanover Theater or whatever. I opened up for Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, wow.
The Righteous Brothers. What would you do if I sang?
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker. I got heckled.
I had his guitarist here.
I got heckled at a Joe Cocker concert. You imagine that? I go, are you heckling me? It was in a little circle. It was like the Cape Cod Melody Tent, or one of those ones at the circle.
Yeah.
The stage goes in circle.
Was it the Cape Cod or was it the South Shore Music
It's
Circus?
probably the South Shore Music
Okay.
Circus. So so long ago, Jesus, 17 years ago.
I
so
remember
opened
what
up
I
for
did
him.
17 years
ABBA,
ago today.
I think ABBA was one of the ones we opened for. I was supposed to open for the B-52s. So that was stuff, they liked me. The guy who owned it, the mother liked me because I was clean. And so I was opening up for all these
The mother of who?
The mother of the owner of
Oh, really?
of the
Okay,
Cape
you had
Cod
a lot. She had a
Melody
lot
Tent,
of little kids.
I think she was a grandmother.
Oh,
And I just
grandmother,
thought that
okay.
because, look at this is how comedy went. Years ago, when I started comedy, when every guy in the world starts doing comedy, we're always talking about this or
Yeah.
we're doing dirty jokes
Of course.
or this. So, I wanted to be a little different. And other people said, hey, man, work on being clean if you want to be on TV. Lenny Clark actually said it to me. Lenny Clark said, if you want to be clean,
What a mentor he is for you.
You want to be on TV, you got to be clean. I'm filthy, dirty, but you got to be clean.
I know.
So now I'm doing clean jokes, and then now all of a sudden, now the only people that are famous are all dirty. So the good thing...
He just didn't want you to cramp his style, that's all.
No, Lenny.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
Lenny's
Lenny's cool.
giving. Lenny's giving.
He
And,
is. I met him at the Boston casting party November 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something earlier that you mentioned that the 13th, January 13th was a Thursday in 2005.
Yes, I remember it well. I actually went.
Well, I have to disagree.
I was in Lunenburg that day.
Well, maybe because I was on a.
I
This would be a cool gig too. I was on a helicopter.
Okay.
With Wayne Newton on one of the episodes. I won one of the episodes. It was 10
Okay.
episodes. One of the episodes I won, I got to go on a helicopter ride with Wayne Newton.
Okay.
So I overheard him say, yeah, the show's airing January 13th, 2005. But the show was on a Sunday. So I don't know if your little OCD thing is right. Who's wrong?
Well, let's see. I don't
January 13th I thought was a Sunday, and you're telling me it's a
2005.
Thursday.
Well, let's see. Because.
Somebody,
Well, no, I could listen. I've had my moments too. I'm trying. I'm
Google it, man.
I went out. I was out in the town of Lunenburg. It was a very mild day. It was like a day like today.
It was snowy. It was snowy in January 13th, 2005.
Well, let me
I was stuck in Vermont.
Well, you were, but I'm just thinking because. All right, hang on a second. I can come up with this. All right, let's see. All right, because the Patriots won the Super Bowl on February 6th of 2005, and that was a Sunday. So if that's the case, then February 1st was a Tuesday. January 31st was January 31st was a Monday. Yeah, let's see. So the 28th, the 15th. Actually, you know what? I think it was a Wednesday. Now that I think back, because. All right, February 6th, they win the Super Bowl, and that was a Sunday. So that means is February 1st.
Minus that would be the 30th. Minus
Right.
that would be the 23rd.
Right, exactly.
Minus that would be 23rd minus...
23rd and the 16th always fall on the same day. So let me think now. February 1st of
So maybe it was January... I thought it was Sunday, January 13th.
Oh, hang on. I'll get it. I just have to think for a few seconds.
You get 26 minutes to get it.
No, I know. I'll get it sooner than that. February 1st of 2005 was a Tuesday. January 31st, January 22nd. It was actually a Friday the 13th. Because I remember. Let me think. God, I know this is true. January.
You know what?
January,
it doesn't even matter. I lost $1 million to a cross-dresser. Anyways.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
Well, but now you got.
He's a friend of mine. He's a
wanting to
singer.
do
He's
it.
a singer,
Okay.
but now he was just cast out in Australia, and now he's doing he's doing a cross. It's just part of the acting. He's a friend of mine. He won the $1 million contract. I was runner-up.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. I'm telling you.
All right.
Positively. I thought
So
that.
then, I overheard, like I said, him on the helicopter saying that January 13th would start. So if the 13th was 13, 14, 15, so it must have been January 16th was a Sunday.
That was more
so
like
that was when the show
See,
aired.
my OCD is perfect again. Yay!
There you go.
Yeah. Love it.
So you're talking about good gigs. So that was one of the gigs. I got to go on this helicopter, which was on TV. But pre that, I got to open up for the Bare Naked Ladies at the Songus Arena in front of 7,000 people for all the 9/11.
Dropped into my old apartment.
Yeah.
26 blocks from the street. That was a pretty good song. I always
No, they were great. They were.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, we were doing it for the 9/11 families,
Yeah.
and they're from Canada. It's like we couldn't get a Boston-based band or American-based band. They had to get somebody from Canada to come down and
Are they?
perform.
Yeah, they are from Canada.
Yeah, Canadian. They were great. They were super nice, and they're kicking ass right now.
Okay.
That was one of the fun ones. Of course, the Comedy Stop at the Tropicana is legendary.
Yep.
That's Dangerfield's old club. The Comedy
Did you ever
Stop at
get to meet
Tropicana.
Rodney before he
I did.
passed?
I met
Okay.
him in L.A. at the Improv. Butch Bradley introduced me to him, who's doing fantastic. He's just getting back from Singapore and China. He's fellow comedians.
Right, of course.
I'm trying to think. You're making me jump around a little bit.
You made me
because
jump around. Now you jump around.
The Comedy Stop at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. The
Okay.
new one is brand new, but the old one was legendary.
Okay.
The legendary, like I got. It's the same stage that the first when they opened it up 28, 30, probably 35 years ago at the Comedy Stop Tropicana Atlantic City was Ray Romano, Drew Carey,
Yep.
and Rosie O'Donnell. That
You know
was the
something?
first-
You
that
know,
was the
Ray
first
Romano.
show.
You know, did you ever get to be? Did you
Yes.
ever get to lend the voice
Yes.
to Dr. Katz, professional
Yes,
therapist?
yes.
Did you?
I was on. Dr. Katz had me on a cartoon commercial.
He did. Huh?
Yeah.
Just a commercial. Wasn't it? Not
The
no,
Bus. It was this new TV series that he had.
The new one. Okay.
Yeah,
Because that was one of my favorite animated series.
Oh yeah, Dr. Katz. It was awesome.
It was hilarious.
He had all the Boston comics on there.
I know. I guess Lenny was on it too, and I didn't realize that it went all the way from 1995 to 2002. I kind of thought
I didn't know it went that long either.
It did, right. I remember watching Ray Romano on it for the first time, and I got to tell you, that's when in Don Herrera.
Sure.
And when Ray Romano did his bit about his two sons, the Twin Towers of Cocky and all this stuff, that was, and about how going into the shower, the temperature, you turn the thing and you go from the right temperature to the wrong temperature, but you never get it the way you want it. And he just and then he talks about getting the soda at the soda machine and. It's all buying a soda. Why is they making such a big deal out of it?
Yeah, Ray's been. It's funny. I use the Ray Romano example a lot in comedy. I said, "When was the last time you heard of Ray Romano?" I heard about 10 years ago. Yeah, when you heard about him, he had already been doing comedy 35 years.
That's interesting.
It doesn't happen overnight. Drew Carey was doing
not.
comedy 25 years. Bill Burr.
And of
Everyone
course,
knows who Bill
Laura
Burr is
Silverman,
right
my
now.
cousin, was on Dr. Katz. She played the receptionist.
Well,
Sarah
she was
Simpson.
also on Saturday Night Live back in the
She
day.
was. Yeah, Sarah too, and Laura, and they're both great actors.
Huh?
Laura and I actually hooked up back on. I'll tell you when it was. We talked.
Wait, what do you mean hooked up?
Well,
It's
no,
your family.
no.
I thought you were from Raynham, not West Virginia. What's going on? Huh.
Because I was such a fan of Dr. Katz that I got her number from a family member. We called her in L.A. So on the night of Saturday, December 27th, 1997, we had a 4-hour conversation on my dime from my house, and she said, "We're coming to Watertown, Mass. on January 28th, which I think was a Tuesday of 1998." And you'll see the audio portion of how we do.
I thought I was good with the dates, by the way. I got to go on record.
If you told me your date of birth, I could tell you what day of the week you were born.
I was
and
the
what
date
doing.
champion for April 11th.
What year?
I'm not going to tell you it on
You know
TV.
what? I can't tell you what day of the week.
I'll tell you. I'm 60. Don't worry about it. I'm 60.
You're
Just
60.
don't worry about it.
Oh, good. Okay.
I look good for my age.
Six-
Thank you.
You're 60. You can do 60 pull-ups with 60 crunches. That's what you mean, right?
No, I can't do 60
You got
pull-ups.
you won 60 goals in the hockey tournament in the last season, right? Is that what you mean?
No.
Okay.
No.
You
I
get
date 60-year-olds. That's
60
what
years old. Okay, cool. Wow. Well, no, but you're in good shape, though.
Thank you. No, listen. It's the entertainment business is
You gotta be.
very good to us because
Yes.
we get to sleep in and stay out late. That's all.
Yeah. You get to sleep in. You get paid for it.
Yeah.
You get paid.
It's got to be
well.
responsible, man. The business, 20 years in the business, I've worked with people that are dead right now. I've worked with people that I looked up to and loved that have
Yeah.
committed suicide.
Wow.
Comedy, that's why I consider myself an entertainer
It's excessive.
and not a comedian. Too many
Right.
comedians taking their own. I worked with Mitch Hedberg doing the college tour back in the day.
Okay.
And, Mitch was great. And his girl and his wife, I think it was wife or the girlfriend at the time, she was great. And he was such a nice, sweet guy, but he had a heroin addiction. And next thing you know,
yeah.
boom. The reason why I started doing comedy back in the day was Platypus Man. His name, and I can never remember, Richard Jenny.
Richard Jenny.
I
yeah,
remember
he
in
was on Dr. Katz, too.
1993
His wife, his girlfriend.
Sure.
I know. Yeah, I heard about
I mean,
that.
in 1993, I remember watching, Comedy Central. He got Comedian of the Year, and I was like,
Wow.
And I was like, man, that guy looks like me, because I want
Yeah.
to do comedy. But when I wanted to do comedy as a kid, I always looked at somebody like Stephen Wright, and I go, I don't look like him. Like the comedians always look a little different. Stephen Wright?
Except his hair's a little curly.
You got the wrong guy.
No, I know who Stephen Wright is.
What I'm trying to say is, though, that little uniqueness of it, I've always been, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Like a Richard Jenny.
Right.
Kind of a wise guy type of
Yeah.
thing. So that's when I actually realized that, I could do comedy. But look at him. He took his own life. And this guy was brilliant.
No, I don't think he did. I think his girlfriend.
No, he took his own life.
Did he do? Okay. I'm
Shot
thinking of the one whose wife.
He had mental issues. He did. His parents
yeah.
wrote, his mom and parents wrote on his website when he passed away that he was fighting some mental issues.
Wow. Because, who was the one on
Robin Williams.
I'm thinking of Hartman. The one.
Well, that's
the one.
Hartman, another one. That's his wife, and that's, allegedly she was on the influence, under the influence of cocaine.
Right.
And Andy Dick gave it to him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? That guy's dead, too.
Right.
And then you got Robin Williams, who, out of any comedian or
sick.
entertainment in the world, would love to have his run. I mean, not only was he on on Happy Days and Mork and every movie, and then he went into not even doing comedy. Next thing you know, he's doing movies with Robert De Niro.
Right.
And he's
you kind of look like De Niro too.
De Niro,
definitely.
little bit. And I get Robin Williams a little bit, but I definitely get De Niro. You got to get
talking to me.
Yo, I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
That's what De Niro said to
Taxi
Trump.
driver,
No, to
1976.
To Trump. He said it was a video.
Oh, really?
It was a
Okay.
video on Facebook that De Niro he voted for Hillary. And he's like, I want to punch Donald Trump in the face. I want to punch him in the face.
He probably did it. Him and Alec Baldwin together would be the classic.
What, to beat up Trump?
Well, Alec Baldwin is Trump on Saturday Night Live. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, we should maybe we'll write into Saturday Night Live. I'll play De Niro.
Okay. Who can I?
And I'll beat up Alec Baldwin.
I can play the guy play the guy that cleans up, the janitor.
Okay.
Or something. I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm an actor too. I've been in a bunch of stuff. I had a role in Shutter Island. I worked with Scorsese. I had played a mental patient role I was born to play.
Cast.
Brilliant
casting from Hollywood.
They knew what they were doing. But listen to this. 20 years ago was my film debut too. I actually was in Amistad, and Spielberg fired me on the set. I tell that story to all of my guests.
Amistad.
I played a member of the House of
I was
Representatives.
going to say, wasn't that about slavery? Amistad?
It was, and I was a member of the House of Representatives circa 1839, and we did.
You fit in perfect. How did you not?
Well, I'll tell you what.
And they were little up then, so you fit that in.
Here's what happened. Now we were working with Anthony Hopkins, who played John Quincy Adams, former president. The date was Saturday, March 22nd, 1997. So it's almost 20 years to the day, like you in a way, except a month later. So I'm sitting there.
Except for you got fired.
No,
and
I'll
I
tell
got
you why I
paid.
got fired, because he wanted us. We were doing a date. We were doing a scene from 1839, and what's his name? Anthony was falling asleep or pretending to be John Quincy Adams, aka Anthony Hopkins, falling asleep. John Quincy Adams. So Spielberg was directing the scene. He goes, "Inquiries to his well-being," and I go, "Is he okay?" And they go, "Hey, you idiot! They didn't say okay back in 1839." So because of the faux pas, remember, I'd never been in a film before. I was 37, and he didn't even. He should have at least, pointed that out, because it's an easy slip of the tongue when you're doing a film that, a dated film especially.
So Steven Spielberg said, "Beat it."
Well, he didn't say beat it. What happened was I was supposed to do 2 more scenes in Newport, Rhode Island, the following Monday. I never got to do them, and then he gave me a real dirty look because we were leaving the State House too. But Scorsese was just the opposite. He loved having me on his set. And when I played a mental patient, the nurse was walking me across the floor of this old mental hospital, with handcuffs and foot shackles. She told him she'd worked with Sarah Silverman out in L.A., and she told Scorsese I was a cousin, and he goes, "Oh, I see the family resemblance. Now, how cool is that?"
Right.
Yeah, so that was...
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese, right.
Yep, they used to say, the world's going down, but he's got an Oscar. He won an Oscar. He didn't win it for the longest time.
He's a great guy. I mean, I'm saying you don't have to be a what-hole to be a good director.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so what other kind of comedy? Do you do any other kind of comedy? Do you do skit comedy? Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, we've done. I've done some improv.
Okay.
I've done some. Basically, my comedy is like a one. It's just
Mostly
comedy.
stand-up, but
yeah, like a one-person show type of thing. I'm starting
Sure.
to learn from other comics. People just want to know. People that so know just want to know about you.
Right.
Talk to me about you. Why are you different than anyone else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to point out some things that have occurred in my life and try to make it fun.
That's right, and you're good at that. I mean, you got that personality. It exudes just the way when you pulled up outside today, you brought that big bag, and then you said, "Well, I'm bringing it back to my car. I don't really need it." You always like to touch all the bases before you kick them to the curb.
Well, you know what? A lot of people don't usually tape TV shows on 5 o'clock on a Wednesday on the South Shore when I live on the North Shore. So I wanted to beat the traffic. So I threw stuff in the bag, put it in my car, came here, washed up, refreshed up, changed my shirt, and then boom, here I am.
Yeah, you probably took a shower in the sink, didn't you?
No,
Good for
I took a real shower like a human being.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I shaved for you.
But yeah, I shave for you too, man.
You missed a couple of spots.
I do. I always miss. So you got any gigs?
That's why you got cast as a mental patient.
Exactly. Oh, listen. Let me tell you something. I'm tame compared to the way I used to be. I'm a shadow of my former self.
Well, it's the medication.
It is. Yeah. No, it's a medication I don't take.
Yeah.
Because I hear they have some real lousy side effects. I've been drug free for 38 years.
Really?
Since September 2nd, 1979. So it'll be 38 years in September.
What kind of drugs?
Oh, just weed, and I dropped a little acid April 30th, 1979. That was the last time.
That's when you started remembering dates?
I started remembering. I can tell you what I did 50 years ago today.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can tell you what, I wasn't born
You
yet.
weren't born yet. I know. You won't tell me a year. That's cool.
Why? Why does that matter?
Because
you're not going to put me on a dating site, are you?
I tell you exactly what happened that day.
We'll talk. I already know what happened that day. I came into this friggin' world is what happened that
Exactly.
day. And I was like, it's cold. I'm in Everett. Get me out of here.
Yeah, Everett. Did you like? I mean, those two cities, Everett and Malden. You still have family there now?
I got family. I got friends in the Boston area. My home is Boston. All my friends and family are Boston. When I was in college, I was known as Boston.
What college
my
was
family.
that?
I went to University of New Hampshire. I went to Wilkes University in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And you know what it is? I was always known as Boston, the guy from Boston. I always had a Bruins gold charm on because I was a hockey guy. I always had the Boston Red Sox hat. I always had a green Celtics shirt.
You can have that bag, by the way, the Red Sox bag that the awards in.
Excellent. It's coming with me. It's coming with me.
Of course. Yeah. Well, if you're the guy from Boston, you got to be there's another guy from Boston, Joe Laguardi. I don't know if you know him.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's two guys from Boston.
A lot of men from Boston.
Right.
I'm just from the Boston area.
I'm just from the
Boston area,
right.
And he's from Tewksbury.
Well, you didn't want anyone to know that, but
we did?
Well, it's too late now.
Edit it, Matty.
It's okay.
I lived in Tewksbury too.
It's too late. I already interviewed him, so it's good. It was 2 years. It was actually, I'll tell you the date. It was Saturday, April 26, 2014.
All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me give you a date.
Go for it. Something you can remember.
What happened 2017 years ago?
Yep.
December 24th.
Well, let's see. It was Christmas
I think
Eve.
Christ was being born. Come on, man. That was an easy one. Even I knew that one.
December 24th. Well,
2017 years ago on December 24th.
Well, hang on a second. It was a Sunday. I know that. And
I thought he rose from the dead on Sunday.
Well, let's see. I remember I was kicking myself because I did something really stupid 10 days earlier. I had a chance to be in a Jordan's commercial, one of those furniture commercials.
Okay.
Now, one of my I actually in 1994, like 6 years prior to that, I caught a really cool break. It was a very
88?
No, 94.
Okay.
It was Thursday, December 22nd, 1994. And I back then I was into bike riding. I still keep myself in shape. I pedal a stationary bike every day, but I don't go out bike riding. I get 2 flat tires and a lot of idiots out there on the road. But on this particular day, it was 65 degrees, and I was out biking shirtless. And some woman was trying to take my picture right down on Route 123 in Brockton, where I live. Well, it turns out this was no ordinary. I thought she wanted my picture for a wall, like Scott Baio or something. But she was an award-winning photographer for the Boston Globe, and she wanted a picture that her editor had assigned to indicate the extremely mild weather for that time of year. And what more indicative than a guy riding a bike in shorts and no shirt? So she took a picture of me, and she said, let's go. We went right into the Brockton Fairgrounds. I don't know if you've ever gone to the Brockton Fair.
I'm familiar
with it. She took a picture of me, right. And she took a picture of me, and she goes, this will probably be in black and white in the Metro Region section. But guess what? Even though the Patriots were making a run in 94, Parcells' first year as their coach, my picture came out in full color, and the caption read, Summer Rerun, Harrison Young rides his bike, and the ultimately excessively warm weather for December 22nd. At the Brockton Fairgrounds, and it got me those movie roles. It got me a chance to be in that Jordan's commercial 6 years later. Well, guess what? I did a 10-mile run that day in a snowstorm, not in my Fiat treadmill, and I ended up showing up an hour late for that interview. The woman liked me from the picture. She wanted to interview me at Canton, at the ad agency in Canton, and because I showed up an hour late, I blew the chance. So if I had that day, December 14th, 2000, back to do over again, I would have saved that run for later, and I would have gotten that commercial too.
You never know that.
I think, yeah, but I got to tell you,
you know how many times I said, "Hey, if I did that, I'd be."
Okay. Well, it was pretty.
Hey, see the mirror? See the rearview mirror? That's whatever's behind you. Let it go.
I know.
Let that shit go. Forget those dates.
You learn from those.
You know what could have happened that time? If I didn't drink too much, I wouldn't have passed out on that hot chick.
Into a snowplow.
No, I wouldn't have passed out on the hot chick or said something stupid and lost my chances.
I know.
You know what I mean? Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda,
today, man, live for today.
Exactly. I agree.
Right? All right.
I totally agree.
As we're in Raynham, we're at the Raynham High School.
There's no Raynham. There's a Bridgewater Raynham High School.
So where are we here?
This is Raynham Middle School.
We're in middle school. Okay.
Yes.
That'll explain why all the kids were my height when I walked in.
Yeah, exactly. You come up with those. Now, I had one other stand-up comedian on once, John Pierce. Do you know him?
John Pierce. It does sound familiar, but I'm not. He's probably younger guy.
Oh no, he's in his 60s. He's older. He's
Okay,
probably
then
about my
I
age.
wouldn't know him then. I wouldn't know him then.
But you know what we did? We watched. He brought in something to watch. He was in a sitcom that they made up at the Medford cable station, and then we couldn't even show it because he was afraid it might be copyright infringement. And then for some reason they went the way of the Edsel, and they defunct now. The Medford cable station.
Well, we have a good one in Malden.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Mr. Cox is in charge of that. He does a great job.
Wally Cox?
No, it's not Wally. I'm trying. I have. Sorry, man. I know who. I can picture your face with your gray hair. I can picture your face, and I just can't remember his name. But we've done a lot of public.
This is a great one here too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's much easier to get to Malden when you live in Malden.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I'd be happy. I wouldn't mind living in this neighborhood. I live 20 minutes away.
In Brockton.
I live in Brockton.
I was stuck at a dance recital in Brockton for like 6 hours.
At a which?
6 hours. A dance recital.
Oh, really?
The Foxy Lady.
Yeah. You mean were you going to strip? You were going to be a male stripper?
No, I was at a dance. I can't explain the jokes to you. You got to get that. I was at a dance recital for 6 hours. Well, it was the Foxy Lady.
Okay.
You get it?
I get it. You were watching strippers. That's what the Foxy Lady is. It's a strip club.
I don't know how we're not going viral right now with this one.
We will. Don't worry. When the show airs, we'll go viral. I promise. So, do you have a gig tonight after you leave here?
Tonight? What's tonight? Wednesday night's Hump Day?
Yes. Hump Day.
You know what? I'm off tonight. That's why I booked this with you. I'm off tonight.
Cool.
This weekend. I'll be doing some fundraisers, and I think I'll be at the Cape Cod Irish Village coming up. I'm going to be at Venus 2 in Marshfield coming up with Lenny Clark.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Dania Beach Casino in Florida in April.
Okay.
Yeah, DaveRusso.net has my calendar, and as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm revamping. I have a meeting to start revamping the new website, the new Russo on the Road page, the new.
Well, I hope you're gonna add this show to it.
Sure.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'll cut it down, edit a nice piece, right?
Yeah, you don't even.
Because nobody's gonna watch an hour.
Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't they? You're Russo on the Road, man. You're on the road now.
Russo on the Road is a minute-long videos. Hey, look what I am.
Well, yeah, but until you add this show, if you don't add it, then it won't expand. But it's okay. It's great as it is. I agree.
Sure. Yeah. We're having fun hanging out here.
Yeah, I agree.
At a middle school.
Yeah, at the middle school, and with friends and all the people that you know. I was so happy when you came in, and I knew you knew Matt. Matt's a stand-up.
Matt's the producer back there.
Yeah,
right?
Hey, Matt, good job as usual. Yeah.
Is Matt doing any comedy tonight? Where's he going? Where you going tonight? The Burren? I heard that.
I was at the Burren.
I heard Louis C.K. might be at the Burren tonight. Just
you ever work with Louis?
Just my little intel. I interviewed Louis for Comics Come Home with Dennis Leary. I interviewed Louis and Stephen Wright and Dennis and Lenny and
I'd love to
Bobby.
get those guys. I mean, I think Lenny is a shoo-in for the show, but I'd love to get Dennis and Louis and those other guys on too.
Yeah. Wouldn't everybody else?
Well,
you know
yeah, but you're one of those guys. You're one of the bigwigs now, man.
Nah, I'm just.
I mean, you're a humble bigwig, but you're still a bigwig.
That's nice. Yeah. Nah, it's what? It's just putting your time in, and what's the word you look for? When you work at a college or high school? I almost said itinerary. What's the word I'm looking for?
Academia?
No. Yeah, you're not gonna get it. Matt, you know the word I'm looking for. Not itinerary. When you're at a college for a long time, you get
semester. I don't know. You
know what I'm talking about?
Credits.
Nah, you're off, man. You're off.
I went to college.
You know, Google that stuff. My phone's in the back.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
And I know everyone out there is going Russo. You know, and I don't want to say itinerary. It's when you have. I'm on the right page though. I'm getting there.
How do you call me?
Oh, dude, I just had it. You got me. Tenure, yeah, that's the word, tenure. Yeah,
man, I would have. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Tenure. I have tenure in this business. I had 20 years doing comedy in the Boston area.
You have 20 year. You had a 10-year, 20 year. You 20 years.
Well, got 20 years, man.
Yeah,
20 years.
20 years. Well, that's pretty
I can't believe it's been 2 decades.
Well,
I should have stopped drugs like you did. I'd probably remember those past 2 decades.
Well, it's never too late to stop drugs. Never too late to go vegan either. That's why I'm so skinny now because I'm.
Not me. I'm gonna probably have a filet mignon when I go home. Yeah, you
probably
tonight.
will.
I'm gonna eat like a big dog at a picnic. I don't know what it is. I like meat. I used to love chicken, but chicken's kind of weirding me out a little bit lately because, you know.
Well, maybe you saw that they do cruel things to the animals, but you know, I mean,
Yeah, but if you don't think about it, you don't know.
Well, I do. I believe me. Well, let me put it this way: I've never felt better as a vegan. I've been a vegetarian since July 30th, 1982, and that's more than half my life, and I feel great.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, a vegan. I've been a vegan since. Well, speaking of January 13th.
I tell you what, I do everything in moderation.
Right.
I don't eat too much of anything. I don't do too much of anything.
But I eat a pound of chocolate every day, though.
I eat a lot of cheese. What's the point?
Well, no, but I do. So I eat to enjoy. So I'm saying you can enjoy what you eat and and what you ingest. You don't have to eat meat to do it, and you certainly don't need it to live. I'd be long gone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got to take care of your liver. Is that what you're saying? Your liver?
Yeah.
You got to take care of your liver. Everything functions through your liver, man.
I agree.
That's why you can't be having too much of one thing going in, then the liver just works overtime, and you're dead.
That's right. Yeah.
Especially in our business, because in the entertainment industry, I mean, I don't know how many times I've been in parties and people offer you. I remember a guy offered me. Well, he offered me, at the time, I didn't even know what OxyContin was.
Oh.
It was like the little thing, and he was chopping it up, and he wanted me to do that with cocaine. And I remember for some reason, I don't know why this popped in my head, but John Belushi popped in my head. And I was like, isn't that what he did? Because John Belushi died he did heroin and cocaine at the same time.
That was a Friday.
Of heroin and cocaine at the same time, right?
Probably. Yeah, you look like Belushi too a little bit, but a healthy version.
Fat Greek. Come on,
no,
man.
You're not fat. You're not. No, Belushi is a good-looking guy.
Hamburger, cheeseburger,
Yeah, right.
cheeseburger.
Coke,
no Pepsi.
Veggie burger. That's what I eat. I eat them every day.
Not me.
No.
I love beef.
Beef, yeah, I know.
I don't care if you smoke cigars.
Okay.
Whatever you do that makes you happy is all I want you to do. Other than that, I don't give a crap about anything. I really, look, if that's good for you,
life is too short,
you
right?
do it. If that's good for you, you do it.
it.
You know what? I have enough shit on my enough stuff on my plate.
Right, I know.
We can edit that out. Middle school, they've heard it.
Well,
but everyone has their own little, we all have our own
itinerary, tenure.
No, we all have our own little
routine.
Well, routines, OCDs, things we like, things we don't like, dislikes, likes. I mean, you watch Fox News. That's all you watch. And I'm in my head. I'm going. You're only getting this part. You're only getting this part of the story.
Yeah.
That's why I really think you gotta.
I guess Trump has me mesmerized now with his tweets.
Well, you know what? Listen, let's not get fooled. I'm on the side where, all right, he won. I understand these people are upset because he had 3 million less than she did.
Right.
But you know what? Both sides know the rules, people. I'm sorry, you both know the rules.
Right.
You got to win. This city gets 30 votes or electoral votes, and that's how it's been. So he kicked her ass in those electoral votes. So I was like, okay, let's give him a chance. But if he starts screwing up, dude, I'm like everyone else. Hey, you know what?
Impeach him.
I want what's good for the country.
Yeah.
I want what's good for the team. I want what's just like the Patriots. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone hates him. But if he wins like the Patriots, then I'd rather be on his team. If that makes sense. But if he starts pulling Terrell Owens type moves and being it's about me and not the team, well then get him the hell out.
Right,
I mean, I don't. I mean,
Tom Brady too. You know that, right?
Who knows if he's tight with Tom Brady or not?
Yeah,
who knows?
Well, he's a big Patriots fan. He said.
I'm sure. Why wouldn't he be? We're champions. How could you not be?
I know. It's true. You got to go with the win.
Everyone hates us, and half the country hates him.
Well, guess what? That's the amount of time we have left.
2 minutes, all right. So we have 2 minutes left. All right.
This
is what we're doing the 2 minutes. Wing right. I'm going to do the 2-minute drill with Tom Brady. Wing right. Quick trap left. Fakes to Edelman.
Lateral
to Harrison.
Yay.
Boom, it's a flea flicker to Russo. He throws it. He catches himself like in the Bugs Bunny commercials. And now he runs for a touchdown. There we go. Patriots win.
Patriots win. Champions again.
All right. You want me to do something for a minute 45?
Well, just give some shouts out to people that are going to see this because millions of people are going to see this show. It's going viral, man.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. With the Facebook and the Twitter, @BostonComedian, DaveRusso.net. I recommend anyone who wants to do stand-up comedy, if you're going to do it, do 5 minutes about yourself. Just have fun with it. No one can hurt you, man. If you want to do it, I remember I wanted to do it when I was 19 years old. I didn't do it till I was 26. So it was 7 years of free therapy that I didn't do.
I thought you started at 16.
Yeah, he'll get that joke later.
Okay.
Anyways, that was to make me see that means I would only be 36.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so my 2 minutes is pretty much up. I have a minute left. What didn't we discuss today? What's a new joke I'm working on? Want to hear a new joke I'm working on?
Well, it's clean. I don't care.
So I'm working on a new joke. This is a new joke I'm working on. And of course it's clean. It's who's more competitive, men or women? Men or women, right? Who's more competitive? And I think it's I think it's women, but I don't know because the girl I'm dating decided to give me a hard time because I got heavier. And she says to me, she goes, you know what, Dave, I'm 2 pounds lighter now than I was when I was in high school. And I was like, yeah, but you were pregnant in high school.
Oh! Oh!
Wasn't my kid. Anyways, there you go. There's a little joke for you. For a little middle school.
Andrew Dice Clay reaction. Oh!
He obviously didn't get the joke.
No, I get it. I like it. Well, are you ready? Are you ready to wrap it up with the theme music?
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Watch us next time. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna have more
Topic time.
Like David, I hope you had a good time.
De Niro dancing to the song.
And here we go. See you next time.
I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm gonna punch this guy in the face right now. You ready? Slow motion. What do you think, huh?
What do you think?
Topic time with
Topic
Harrison
time,
Young.
yeah.
February 15, 2017. Where were you?